What is up, everyone? Once again, it is Lovenji Gaming here, and we are back with Command & Conquer GDI Covert Operations Mission 3, Infiltrated. This is going to be an interesting mission. It doesn't take very long to get through it, so enjoy. We're going to be in this for about 20 minutes, give or take. I'm not going to spoil what the mission is. It just starts with you under a lot of early pressure. I'll see you in the video. Let's get this underway. What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji here, and wow, is that guard tower loud. Okay, just adjusted my headset there. Right, so this mission begins pretty hectically, and the very first thing you saw me do was adjust the game speed. Now, you want to crawl up 2 silos immediately, because if you do not do this, the Brotherhood of Nod will deploy gun turrets from the refinery that they have captured. So, 2 quick silos. That seems like I did them pretty slowly, but if you play that on faster, it's very hard to get those silos down in time. Now, keeping your medium tanks safe, because you're going to use it to fight, and get that harvester already moving back for when you capture the refinery. We're going to quite proudly take our refinery back, and we're actually going to ignore the barracks for a good chunk of the game. And one of the reasons we're going to ignore that barracks is because all that Nod does from it is produce engineers. Engineers cost 500 each, and they are very easy to kill, so we don't actually need to take that back. Now, you're probably thinking we're pretty safe now, but we're not. The Nod attacks in this level are relentless. They're going to hammer you again and again and again, and their attacks are going to primarily consist of stealth tanks, flame tanks, and AGTs. They have quote-unquote stolen your technology, and they actually have access to the advanced guard, not advanced guard tower, I said AGTs, I'm awful. MRLS, which is the tank version of the AGT, and that's what they'll be utilising to attack us. The MRLS, flame tanks, and stealth tanks. That's a very rough anti-infantry squad, but of course we're playing GDI, so we don't care if they've got an anti-infantry squad, because we don't use infantry. We're producing a second harvester because we're actually going to camp. Using that word, it doesn't really make sense in Command & Conquer. We're going to sit in our base and establish an economy whilst hiding behind a lot of guard towers. And I do mean a lot of guard towers. Again, 2 harvesters to a refinery is all we need to establish the economy to be able to be successful, even if one of those harvesters gets very, very confused. Of course, it's waiting for the other harvester to return. Not the most efficient mining ever. I don't recommend following through with this next step. This next step is actually the thing that makes this mission a touch harder than it would normally be. Once you get to this point, you've normally stabilised. And as you can see, I've almost got my complete army of AGTs set up. I've got a minigunner camping the barracks, and that's the mistake. That right there is the mistake. The Brotherhood of Nod now feels attacked, so it's going to respond, and it's going to respond with a little bit too much for my current base. What I should have done is cancel the refinery, repaired and queued up another AGT here, or just not attacked the barracks in the first place. That would have been the better option. So, Nod are now going to start just throwing loads and loads of troops at us. These tanks are only the beginning, and we're about to lose an AGT here. Here we go, we're getting in there. We're getting in there slowly, smartly. The attack is now endless, and it's because of that rocket soldier. If I just stopped attacking, they would stop attacking. This flame tank is just an absolute hero among the Brotherhood. He takes out so much. all I am trying to do is establish control of my base again. And that's a very dangerous thing. I've lost yet another barracks to the Brotherhood. So, we've got 3 harvesters going. There's more than enough to bring us in the money that we need. But now we just need to fortify our position long enough to be able to actually defend. Once we're in a comfortable position, we can just start spamming medium tanks, and really that's all you need to win the game. Fortify your position, get comfortable, spam medium tanks, win game. That's my list to success on this level, the Lovenji's list of success. Mess around with your mouse a little bit as you get bored waiting for the guard tower to complete, because why not? Place the guard tower in the wrong spot, therefore ruining the nice pattern that you had set up. But smile as the kindly flame tank ruins the pattern for you. So once again, they're just being a little bit annoying. Flame tanks are really good at against base defenses. What you should really do if you're in this position is try to mix in 1 or 2 medium tanks. If you can find the economy for it, perhaps instead of the second refinery getting a medium tank, you're probably thinking, well, if you didn't get the second refinery, you didn't have no eco right now. You're right, I would have cared about the engineer. So, spoilers, the reason we didn't care about the engineer that was capturing our refinery is because the Brotherhood is now going to return Tiberium to that refinery. They're going to use that as their primary refinery for returning Tiberium 2. And every time that their harvester wants to come back to our base for a little trip back, we're going to be able to pummel the harvester with 3 AGTs. Now, quite interestingly, the Brotherhood of Nod does not need build radius to place down that turret that I talked about, the gun turret. So if I were to capture back that refinery, sell my silo that is currently blocking that gun turret, they would actually just put the gun turret down. That's inefficient. Don't do that. I did that because I thought about taking the refinery back, but realised it's better for us to just keep destroying Nod harvesters this way. And it's a lot of fun. Make exploiting the AI even more. So, we're at the point now where we are comfortable. Once you have this sort of wall, the 2 guard towers and then the 4 AGTs all guarding this small narrow gap, you're very hard to attack with scripted Brotherhood of Nod attacks. The flame tanks will get us low, they'll do some damage, but nothing will actually break us and or kill us. As you can see, they're attacking us full force and they'll probably get 1 or 2 towers here. They get 1, gets 2, but the cost of the units that he just threw at us to get those 2 AGTs that we're only going to rebuild anyway. When you think about the fact that he's currently losing harvesters, it's about trading efficiently, and we are absolutely trading more efficiently than he is. Unfortunately, the destruction of those guard towers does mean that the harvester does get to drop off its load. Interestingly, if you've never actually used a harvester before, it's about 800 money, I believe, a harvester full of Tiberium is. So he gets a free 800 from that unit.
Construction complete. Building. Construction complete. Building. Construction complete.
So I'm replacing the walls just to keep the flame tanks at bay, stop them from getting a bit close. Also, because why not? Look, the base looks a bit prettier now. I like that. It also makes the tanks a lot less likely to find success against your AGTs.
Building.
So the Brotherhood is going to keep throwing units at us, we're going to keep turtling up,
Building.
and all we're doing is getting to a point where our economy far outweighs the damage that they can deal. Which we're slowly getting to. So what I'm actually going to do is get my second
Our
weapons factory up online soon enough. The second weapons factory will produce tanks even quicker, and yet there's a stealth tank being a very, very cheeky stealth tank. So I'm just going to stick one there and have it defend my forward refinery.
Building.
I'm replacing the refinery. There's no such thing as too many harvesters. Okay? When you're playing games like this, there is no such thing as too many harvesters. There is, but there isn't. Make sense of that. You can have too many harvesters, but it's better to have too many than not enough. Because the AI will chase your harvesters, it will chase your refineries.
Construction complete.
You can never have too many refineries or harvesters. That's the end of that. So now we can train a couple of Humvees. A nod is in the northeast, like the very far northeast, but we can just like start getting vision of the map. The reason we want to do that is make sure that our harvesters know where they can go for Tiberium, and also we are going to be hunting Brotherhood of Nod harvesters, so we want to make sure we know where they are, so that our tank death squads can keep Nod in a low eco status. It really doesn't take much more than that. So one of the principal challenges of this mission isn't so much the start, but it's actually in the way in which you... Well, no, it is in the start. I kind of messed that up, didn't I? Yeah, it's not in how you close out this level, it's actually in how you start off the level. The challenges are all present in those initial few seconds and dealing with the early aggression that comes immediately afterwards. Once you've got a confident strategy and you know exactly what you're doing, it becomes really straightforward. I put a second weapons factory outside the wall because the more weapons factories you lay onto one another, the quicker your tanks build. But additionally, having one outside the wall, they don't all, when you have a mass of tanks, then have to navigate through this one tile space, which will take them forever. I don't want that happening.
Construction complete. Building.
Pathfinding in this game can be quite a thing. I think most of you have seen in my previous videos the kind of battles that you have with the pathfinding algorithm. Westwood themselves actually did an interview in which they were talking about one of the things they spent the most time on with their Tiberium Sun game, which is a very successful Command and Conquer game in its own right, was just the pathfinding algorithm. Like, if you can make an AI, the quote that they said that always stuck with me was, if you can make an AI if you could just stop an AI doing something unintelligent, then by default it looks intelligent. So simple things like making it know where it can go, making it ignore the position of other units, so that all units can pass through a single tile. There's a lot in there that's very interesting, but Westwood really pushed this genre, and it's one of the sort of defining, iconic elements of this genre, I suppose. I'm rambling a little bit there, but either way, we are here, we're in the mission, and we're just building tanks and scouting out the map. You can pretty much see the shape of the map at this point. This pathway does really nothing for you, it just gets you stuck and then killed. But you can see the remaining fields of Tiberium. There's plenty of Tiberium on this level, so you don't actually have to run out of economy. You just have to play. Keep producing units, play a little bit aggressively. But with the amount of tanks we have, we can start taking fights with the Nod units in the open field. And if we can start doing that, then their harvesters are going to come under attack. I get ion cannon for good measure because, you know, why not? If you've got the capacity, why not? They always say in any RTS game, and Command & Conquer is no different, where you have a resource, if you're letting your resource bank up, you're not playing the game well, you're not playing it efficiently. And that's the basis of, it's the premise of if you can't take it with you, right? So if I sat here with a bank of 5,000, get attacked by the Brotherhood and lose, I'm not playing the strategy game very well. that 5,000 money is money that's not doing me any good. And that remains true for a majority of scenarios in RTS games. There are these exceptions to that rule. You have things like the low eco states that appear in StarCraft quite often when the bank that a player has, because resources are finite, the bank that a player has actually does matter when armies start trading against one another and they're already effectively capped out in army.
Building.
This is something we have to worry a lot less about, and therefore we don't pay too much mind to. In Command and Conquer, we just want to spend all our money. It's very hard to formally run out, but you can do it. You've seen me do it in other levels, often the last levels. It's one of the ways they can augment the difficulty of the level and make the level seem harder, or make it take much longer, is to just drain out the economy so that you're not constantly mining, and therefore you're constantly looking for ways to trade efficiently and effectively with the enemy army. But what we're doing here, I mean, it's not special. We're not innovating a new technique or anything. We are just playing this out.
Unit ready. Construction complete.
So that first big fight with the Brotherhood's army took out all of our tanks. We only had a few though, and now we can just claim back that refinery, and go back to training just tanks. And that's really going to be the next few minutes of this level. We're going to be training tanks, we're going to be sniping harvesters, we're going to be engaging the Nod army. Essentially going to be flexing our economy on the AI.
Building. Unit lost.
So it's very annoying to let a load of Tiberium go back to the base. However, we built something earlier that's going to help us. And we're just gonna cheeky iron cannon on the harvester, and they lose that harvester full of money.
Building.
So keep your weapons factory producing, keep those tanks moving. You want to start pushing up this map now. Bit more active. You can build a death ball if you want, but because we're trying to secure map control and we're trying to snipe harvesters and force Nod into a low eco state, active tanks are useful tanks, inactive tanks are not useful. Sure, you don't need me to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. We don't get access to the airstrike in this level until it's much too late. Nod's SAM sites are really well placed for actually defending the base for once. And you can see some cool little stutter stepping things you can do with medium tanks here. They move faster than a flame tank, and they can turn and shoot because the turn radius is slightly jank. So you can do this fun little kiting technique with medium tanks, and it looks really impressive. They do less damage when you're doing that, but they take less damage. So if you're not engaging with a full army, absolutely do some fun little kiting mechanic-y things. Just like that, we can start pushing into the Nod base. We're going to take out some turrets. They don't have an obelisk, but they do just have a lot of gun turrets, and that's fine. Taking a lot of damage, but taking out their front wall, denying them their Tiberium, we're going to be in a great position. Those Hinds are going to be completely aggroed to those tanks now until they kill the tank, which is good because by pulling the tank back we can actually lure the Hinds into the AGTs. AGTs are primarily anti-infantry, do some damage to tanks, but can also target air units because of course GDI doesn't have SAM sites. So as you can see there, our AGTs made short work of the Hinds. Hinds are also very expensive units, so that combined means we're in a very comfortable position to push further into the Nod base. We can see where they've got idle units. We can take some of those out. And at this point we don't have to chase harvesters because we can just do damage to Nod directly. ion cannon on the Hand of Nod to weaken it nice. And we can just push into the base and remove it.
Building.
And that's all we're going to be doing for the rest of the level. We're going to be clearing up the Nod base. There's no gimmicks, no surprises, no techniques, just train and clean. So I will be quiet for the rest of this video. And I'll see you in the outro.
Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete. Unit lost.
Moving out. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Building. Construction complete.
Unit moving out. No. Unit report. Affirmative. Waiting. Moving out. Moving out. Affirmative. Moving out. Moving out. Moving out. Yep. Moving out. Moving out. Knowledge. Yes, moving out. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir.
Airstrike
No.
ready. Select target.
Moving out. Knowledge. Yes,
Construction
sir. Moving
complete.
out. Yes, sir.
New construction options.
Yes. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mission accomplished.
Well, what can I say? That was Covert Operations Mission 3. The first few minutes of that mission are the most important. It's important to do all the things that I talked about in the video, sort of blocking with the silos, as well as crawling the base defences and slowly expanding out. The Nod base itself isn't particularly threatening, and they have to travel so far to actually harvest that they don't ever really put you in any danger, and you can very quickly starve them out. Once you get control of the early game, you just move on from there. Anyway, as always, like, leave a comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. Bye for now.